Welcome back everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and yeah, we're going to be doing another seasonal championship, this time in winter, and yeah, it's Polar Protein, and we're going to be in A-class modern muscle cars, so plenty of rear-wheel drive V8 power on the go, so yeah, looking forward to it, because there are plenty of modern muscle vehicles that I like that are on this game. This isn't one of them, obviously, because it's a really rather large luxury saloon car. But yeah, there's still going to be some saloons, I'm sure, to pick from in the modern muscle class. Immediately got the likes of a Cadillac in mind for that kind of thing. But yeah, let's see what cars we're going to be trying out. And you get the Chevrolet Impala from 1996 as a reward if you win it.
Go and give them a show.
Which, for whatever reason, on the festival playlist menu is saying that that Impala is a new exclusive car, when it isn't. But yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, we've got a pair of Cadillacs, the V versions of the CTS and the ATS. The ATS only has a V6, but it's a pretty powerful V6 nonetheless. But yeah, the CTS-V has the big V8. Then we've got a Charger and a Challenger. Then we've got two Mustangs and a Shelby GT500, which is basically a Mustang but with more power, and then a Falcon, and then we've got a pair of HSVs, both for saloons again, and then the Vauxhall Monaro VXR, which is one of my all-time favourite cars, quite frankly, but it doesn't seem to be one of the fastest. Yeah, these two Mustangs are 6.4, and then the HSV is 6.4 as well, but I am actually going to choose the Vauxhall Monaro first, because like I said, it is one of my all-time favourite cars, and despite being from the mid-2000s, it does have a fair bit of power from its naturally aspirated V8, 398 horsepower, which is certainly no amount to sniff up at. And yeah, not particularly light, but then it's still not the heaviest in this category. Let's just hope it deals well with the snow and the ice, because obviously this is more at home in Australia than it is on these kind of roads. Best off the line. It's got pretty damn good handling. And this being added to the game was one of my bigger enjoyments about getting this game, quite frankly, because as soon as I saw that I was insanely happy. This has always been a car I've wanted on a Forza game, quite frankly. Though I am completely failing to show off this car's promises, because I am either hitting a Land Rover as on the AI traffic, or completely outbraking myself in the ice and the snow. Yeah, it might not be the lightest of vehicles ever, but it's certainly lighter than several of these cars here, which is going to help, especially when driving up inclines like this. The less weight you have, the better. Ooh, seems to be a bit of a pile up there. Take full advantage of that. That's the problem with these street scene races. The AI do get a bit mixed up with the AI traffic, because those AI traffic vehicles are generally on the driving lines of these corners and straights, so the AI do get a bit confused about them sometimes. Hopefully that's sorted out for the next Horizon game though. Whenever that next Horizon game is, because we're not getting the new Forza Motorsport game until reportedly February next year, and obviously Playground Games have been working on the new Fable game, so whether or not they're going to get that done in time for a subsequent year release after the next Motorsport game, we'll have to see. Hopefully we do, because these games are really rather great. but I like both Horizon and Motorsport games equally, to be honest, because they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, Motorsport games are quite restrictive, but generally the better looking games with the better handling physics and generally the larger car rosters, because this starting out had 450 cars, whereas Forza Motorsport 7 had more than 700. But yeah, there's no doubt that the car list on this game has certainly improved over time, either via the car pass or the 2 expansion DLCs that we had, or subsequent cars added to the festival playlist. Hope the whole playlist kind of thing makes its debut in the Motorsport series. Obviously it's not going to be a festival playlist, because obviously the festival aspect is centered around the whole open world aspect on this game. But a kind of a playlist to do certain kinds of challenges and I like to get new cars and stuff after the car pass is finished would be nice. But yeah, there we go, more than 1 second ahead in terms of distance between me and second place. With second place being a HSV and then a Ford Falcon, 2 Ford Falcons in the top 5 and then a Monaro and another Monaro. The Cadillac's well behind there in 8th and 9th, or 10th even, so yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the next race and see what else we can get in. Right, so the Monaro came through for us there, despite the fact it's one of the slower cars on this championship to choose from, but that probably also came down to the fact that there was a fair bit of an old crash going on. So yeah, we're going to go for something significantly quicker this time. We've picked an Australian car already, so I don't think we're going to go for something from HSV this time round, although we may well do for the third race. But yeah, I think we're going to choose a Mustang of sorts, maybe. But then again, we're never really going Dodge, but these aren't particularly all that quick, if we're honest, because they do weigh a fair old amount. Mustang, yeah. I think we'll go for the yeah, we'll go for the RTR. It's a pretty damn good version of the standard Mustang, but with more power and better handling. And I think the visual improvements are also pretty damn good. It's not overblown like a lot of modded vehicles are. It's just tastefully done. So yeah, let's see what it can do on this race. And one of the big things I've always liked about this game and the previous Forza game is the fact that they increased the car roster from the game world that it was set. So obviously Forza Horizon 3 was set in Australia, and we saw a massive uptick in Australian cars after that game, though a couple have yet to be featured in another Forza game. And the same with this, being set in Britain, has also seen a massive uptick in British cars as well, which is something I've always loved. So that's why I do hope that we're set the next Forza Horizon game in a different country. Hopefully somewhere like France or Japan or something like that, so we can get cars from those countries that we may well have not seen before, because there are a lot of Japanese cars that we've never had on a game like this before. Same with France. Italy might well be nice as well, but we pretty sure we were there for one of the Forza Horizon games, I can't remember. But yeah, somewhere that we've never been before would be preferable, because we've already been set in America, so to go there again wouldn't really seem right. To be honest, I don't know where you'd be able to set the game in another part of America, to be honest, because Colorado was nice, but it was a bit bland, and everywhere else is either built up or boring as the same as Colorado. So yeah, somewhere in Europe or Asia would be preferable. I would particularly like France, purely because there's a lot of French cars that we've never had before. French cars on these Forza games have typically been underrepresented. We've for the longest time had only a pair of Peugeots to choose from outside of any race cars. Luckily that changed recently with the I think it's a 106 Rally, which is a great little French hatchback, but outside of that, that's been the only new French car we've had for a while. Obviously we've had the new Alpine, and we had the DS3 Racing in a few Forza games, but yeah, even Citroën have been woefully underrepresented because outside of the DS3 we've only ever had the 2CV, so yeah, I'd love to see some more French cars on these games, especially the more classic variety stuff from the 60s, 70s and 80s would be really rather nice. But yeah, the Mustang there coming through in big style. Not quite as much as the Monaro did, because we're less than a second ahead of second place. But yeah, another Ford Mustang S5 came in second place, and then a standard Ford Mustang from 2018 came in third. A Cadillac doing better this time round, coming in fourth, and then another Mustang in fifth. So yeah, that's given us a comfortable position over second and third. So yeah, hopefully we can win the next race, but it's looking like it's not going to be necessary. But nonetheless, let's get on to the third and final race. Right, so the Mustang there proved really rather good, to be honest. I don't think we've struggled to keep ahead of anyone once we got in the lead. So yeah, that was a fairly good choice. I think on the whole though, a Cadillac might well be more advantageous, but then we've also got the HS-Vs to try out. But they seem to be pretty similar. The handling and the braking isn't particularly different, only the braking on the newer one is better. Acceleration isn't all that great. I think we'll go for the Cadillac CTS-V sedan. It's got 640 horsepower and 630 pounds-feet of torque from its large 6.2 litre V8. So yeah, I think we'll go for that. It's also more modern than the other HSV vehicles, so it should prove better in terms of handling than those cars as well, despite being quite heavy. It's still nowhere near as heavy as the likes from Dodge, which I have no idea how they make their vehicles so heavy despite not being any larger than the likes of this. I mean, in comparison to Dodge, you'd expect a Cadillac to be the heavier one, being a more luxury brand, but for whatever reason, Dodge seem to make their cars as heavy as SUVs, to be honest. Yeah, it'd be interested to hear what country you'd like to see the next Forza Horizon game set in. The only reason I say something like Paris is because I feel that France even is because I think Paris would make for a great city to drive around in, and then you'd have the really rather good mix of countryside that surrounds Paris to go around in as well. And hell, considering how they've melded in different areas of Britain into this game, you could well see yourself driving around in Nice or anywhere on the south of France, really, which would be nice. Hell, they could even put in Monaco if they wanted to. Drive around that place with it not being a closed-off track would be pretty fun. Yeah, there's so many countries you could go into, to be honest, that you could guess all day and all week, and you might not even get the right country. So yeah, but it is interesting to mull over what kind of countries you could go to. It's even more interesting when you consider the kind of car possibilities that they will have to reflect the country that they're in, because we've seen so many great cars added to this game, or added to the series in general, just because it's set in Britain. All of those British classics from the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s that we've seen. I mean, I never imagined in my life that we'd ever be driving a Rover SD1 on these games, and yet we did. And then we also had a Hillman Imp, and then we've had a Triumph TR6. It's just been such a wide variety of British cars that it's been really, really nice. So yeah. Because I'm into my more European and American cars, France appeals to me because of how many cars France has produced that have been great, that I would love to see in a game. And taking into account the fact that France has been woefully underrepresented in Forza games, I feel that it's high time French cars got their time in the sun. Fortunately, Cadillac is not proving to be all that great for this race. For whatever reason, I think the fact that it's quite heavy has hindered it. Hopefully 4th place will be more than enough to give us the points that we need to win the championship. Yes, it is by 2 points, but 2 points is better than none. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, Cadillac coming through just about, with the Monaros in 2nd and 3rd, then 2 Falcons, and the Charger in 6th. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching. Get on with this championship if you want to get that Impala, because it is a really rather great car, and I'm glad that the Impala has made a return to the Forza series. Though why it's considered a new exclusive car when we've already had the Impala before, I don't know, but either way, it is a cracking car, and you only have to do 3 races to get it. So yeah, get out there and get it if you haven't already, and enjoy it as much as I do, because I really do like it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.